Bringing Watkins or Palmer this week, and is Brian Mbeumo the best captaincy option? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and you're looking forward to game week 37. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my team, the transfers I'm going to make, and of course, captaincy. We're also going to look at the state of play for all the teams looking at those European spots, what they need, and why we want to be backing players from teams with something to play for. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Only a couple of weeks left now, and as a bit of a state of play for my team, it's been if you've followed my journey, it's been a dreadful season. I'm still here making videos for you guys. I'm still here doing what I enjoy, and that's playing FPL how I like to play it. It hasn't been a safe season. It's been very differential, and some seasons that works and some seasons that doesn't. I committed to a very differential chip strategy, and that's been the biggest thing I think that's cost me this season. Not free hitting in 34, not wildcarding early. Those two things were huge in terms of the players I would have gone. If I'd gone with a wildcard template, I'd still be on Triple Palace last week and maybe would have had Eze and Manozhul's. I'd have had Jacob Murphy's massive 15-pointer in 33. I'd have had the game week 34 huge free hit that where every player just hit. I didn't do that. I take full responsibility for that. I consciously wanted to play different. I consciously wanted to go against the template because I was chasing. I'd be on probably around 100k if I'd followed that template strategy. I didn't, and I'm at 450. And with a couple of weeks go, I'm hoping I can still have two big green arrows. So look, let's have a look let's have a look at the teams in the table, right? So this is from the BBC. It just gives you goal difference. Goal difference matters because goal difference will be used when looking at qualification for certain spots. So effectively, goal difference becomes an extra point. And guys, if you're enjoying the video, hit that like button, but also please subscribe to the channel. We can see the form of these teams. Let's forget Liverpool and Arsenal. Arsenal will get top 5, right? Newcastle, 66 points. One win, it should see them through, right? Because one win in the next 2 games with their goal difference of 23 should be good enough. But of course, they go to Arsenal this weekend and they'll think, get a point. They will think, get something. That could be quite a tight, cagey game. I wouldn't be surprised. But final day for Newcastle, Everton at home. It'll probably be we need to win to get European football, and I imagine they'll do that. Man City would be in the driving seat for a spot. And still are. They'll get one, I'm sure, if they'd beaten Southampton. But the fact they didn't beat Southampton, Man City now need something versus Bournemouth to not have to take it to the final day. That's a bit tricky for them. Like, ideally, we'd see huge rotation for Bournemouth, and maybe we will. I'm still unsure if the likes of Marmoush and Haaland start the Bournemouth game. It comes 3 days after the FA Cup semi-final. Imagine the FA Cup final goes to 120 minutes. Now, who should start in game week 37 for Man City? Surely De Bruyne in his last home game at the Etihad. Does De Bruyne miss the FA Cup? Maybe he's an impact sub. Or maybe he starts 36 FA Cup final and 37, but that would be 3 starts in 9 days, which feels like it's pushing it. Chelsea slipped up, but have 2 goodish fixtures. I say 2 goodish. Man United at home should be a banker for them. But then Nottingham Forest is going to be a bit of a 6-pointer. So Chelsea's still favourites to get top 5. But Aston Villa have got the fixtures. And again, if you're looking at Ollie Watkins, this is why he's so good. The form is great. 63 points. It is 7 goal difference. So Chelsea have effectively got a point on Villa here. So it's not in Villa's hands. It's in Chelsea's hands. If Chelsea win the next 2 games, they're going to get Champions League football. If Villa win their 2 and Chelsea slip up, then Villa get it, right? And Villa have got Man United and Tottenham, who both obviously are distracted with their cup final. Forest, it looks unlikely they're going to get it. Yes, if they beat West Ham and then the final day 6-pointer versus Chelsea, of course they have a chance. But they need Villa to drop points. So look, that's where we're at. That's the state of play. Brentford is the other big team worth noting. Brentford and Brighton could both be going for 1 European spot. They're both on 55 points. Brentford have the goal difference, though. Brentford win the next 2 games, they get a European spot. They got to beat Fulham. They got to beat Wolves. I think they can do that, and that's why Brentford are so attractive. Teams like Fulham and Palace, they're done. They should be on the beach. Crystal Palace get a European spot if they win the FA Cup final. Fulham, we saw they conceded 3. Fulham are a team we can target now, and that is why Brentford are so good this week, because they play Fulham at the G-Tech. And for Brian Mbeumo, I think it's a great fixture. We'll talk about captaincy later, guys. So, take a breather. Ask a question. Drop a comment. Hit a like. Hit a subscribe. And let's have a look at my team, shall we? So, look, this is where I'm at. This is option 1. Option 1 is keep calm, carry on, and don't make a transfer this week. Now, I think that's probably 20% likely that I keep with option 1. It's that I keep De Bruyne I keep Isak. The other two players we're going to discuss moving in option 2 and 3. And I just keep calm and carry on. I have 2 transfers. I've got 1.6 million in the bank. I have 2 transfers. Then going into game week 38, where I can go for punts like Evan Nilsson for Cunha, maybe. Evan Nilsson has Leicester at home. I could go De Bruyne out for Saka. Saka has Southampton. They would be fun 38 fixtures. And if I roll this week, I can make those moves in 38. Interesting idea. Like, I don't hate it. And there's an argument to say, Gianni, you've seen the thumbnail, guys, right? Is to sell De Bruyne, sell Isak, keep De Bruyne because it's his last home game. Gianni, he could get a sympathy penalty. You've seen the narrative of final days, like City now need something versus Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are good. Do you back De Bruyne versus Bournemouth? And I just keep thinking, look, Bournemouth are good. And the FA Cup final, whether City win and they're in party mode or they lose and they lose, like, and it's not great for them. Like they're down and they hope they can bounce back, but their heads are down. I don't know how I feel about De Bruyne. I like him as a pick, but is he better than Saka? Is he better than Palmer? That's the big decision I've got to make. And then it's Isak. Isak ruined Arsenal in the semi-finals of the EFL Cup. 2-legged semi-final. One leg was played in January. One leg was played in February. Cast your mind back to those games, guys. Newcastle won 2-0 on both of them. They went to the Arsenal Stadium and won 2-0 at the Emirates. They then won 2-0 at St James's Park. And Isak, honestly, he absolutely schooled Saliba and Gabriel in those games. And it was Saliba and Gabriel in those games. And I've not seen Isak play that well. And I've not seen those centre-backs get owned like that before. Obviously, Gabriel ain't playing. Isak versus Kivior and Saliba, he could still have fun. Now, look, Isak knows if we go and beat Arsenal, we've pretty much secured Champions League football next season. It's quite a carrot. It's quite a carrot. And of course, contract negotiations and Isak moving. Like, there's an argument to say Isak's more likely to stay, much more likely to stay at Newcastle if they get Champions League. Selling Isak is risky, guys. A lot are doing it this week, but it's so risky because especially in 38, he's got Everton at home. I'm worried about selling Isak. I'm not going to lie. So look, that's where I'm at. I'm scared to sell De Bruyne, but I think I'm even more scared to sell Isak. So that's option 1 on my team. Let's see option 2. It's Isak out, Watkins in. And we've got to talk about Watkins. This gives me 1.8 in the bank for next week. But this move gives me Ollie Watkins for 2 prime fixtures. So he would be playing Spurs before their big European night, where they'll rotate. And then he'd be playing Man United in game week 38, only 4 days after the cup final in Bilbao. So I think it's Wednesday night, the final. Let's say Man United lose that. Old Trafford, game week 38. Watkins could have fun, knowing he needs something. We've just looked at the table. Villa need 2 wins, really. It's so risky not having Watkins. Watkins is the template pick this week. Everyone's buying him for obvious reasons. It's Spurs, it's Man United. They're both teams we should target. If Man United win, they're in party mode for 38, and Watkins still does well. If they lose, their heads are down, and Amorim and the animosity and all of the noise at Old Trafford, and Watkins is a great pick. I really don't want to go without Watkins. But do I want to use my one precious transfer on him, knowing Isak is such a good hold? So I said I was 20% likely to keep calm and carry on. I'd say I'm probably at like 35% likely to make this move, the template move, Isak to Watkins. Now I'm going to say 30. And the reason I'm only 30%, because this was always the plan, was, Gianni, at your rank, why play the same as everyone else? I've been playing different pretty much all season. Why go template at the end? Seems pointless, doesn't it? Yes, it was the move that I thought was going to get me the most points, which is why I planned on doing it. But Gianni, you're chasing. You've got to back against the obvious to get big gains. I might get marginal gains if I captain Watkins and he bangs and bring Watkins in. I ain't going to get big gains because there's a lot of managers bringing in Watkins and captaining him. I think I've got to go against this. So this is option 2, right? Which leaves option 3 at 50% likely in my mind at the moment. And I'm recording this midweek. Like, of course, things can change. But let's talk about option 3 in a second. One Football, if you're not already subscribed, guys. You've been watching my videos all season. I'm sure now you've gone, yeah, he bangs on about One Football loads. They must be good. I'll give it a go. This is free. This isn't me trying to sell you anything. This is scan the QR code on screen right now. Get your phone out. Scan the QR code. Or just click the link in the description or in the comments. Like, this is a no-brainer football app for fixtures, for data, for news, for video clips of all Premier League games. It's got it all. I use it for it's a football resource for me, for Champions League, for Serie A, and for the Premier League. Get it on the home screen of your phone, day and night. I'm always on one football. We'll see option 3 in a sec. This is Ollie Watkins. Really small sample size because I just did this before I recorded, so I wanted to grab it. But this will follow suit. Around half of managers on FPL Twitter, that's half the FPL community, that's half the engaged managers, they are buying Watkins and they're captaining him. 20% will buy him but not captain him, which means, by the way, he's going to be in about 70% of teams from engaged managers this week. And then there's about 30% won't own him at all this week. Ollie Watkins is massively where the crowd are going, and they're selling Isak to get there. The majority of them. Some will go up to from Mateta if they can afford to, or Marmoush, but most are going Isak to Watkins. So, what's the move I'm most likely to make? Option number 3. Here we go. Cole Palmer. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He's been rubbish. Why would you do that? This is just a play on ownership. This is a play on betting against the obvious. And yes, I think he's in about 30% of teams, but they're mostly dead teams. In terms of active managers at my rank, I expect he'll be in about 5%. He ain't going to be in many teams. This gives me an opportunity to go against the obvious with a player that delivers consistently at the start, that delivered consistently for part 1 of the season, the first half of the season. Part 2, second half of the season, it's been rubbish. It's been blank. But the underlying numbers haven't been bad. And he did, last time he played at Stamford Bridge, look really good. And it was against Liverpool. We saw that, right? He got the penalty at the end, but forget the FPL points. He looked really good. And that's the important thing. He passed the eye test. It was hard to judge him at St James's Park because there was a red card to Nico Jackson and Chelsea are off. At home, Chelsea are a much better team. And Man United are on the ropes. We've said why Watkins is good versus Man United or Spurs. Well, Man United, before the cup final, should still heavily rotate, and then mine's going to be elsewhere. I think Palmer's a great shout this week. He could play number 9. Will he play number 9 is the big question, because it could be Pedro Neto. No Nico Jackson, it will be Neto or Palmer. If it's Neto, Palmer's not so good. You'd prefer Jackson in the team. If Palmer plays 9, again, it doesn't mean play number 9, you get the goals. But maybe have a few more touches in the area, maybe have a few more shots. Man United are poor defensively, and Palmer can target them. And Palmer, a boyhood Man United fan, I like the narrative here. This is very differential. This is what the data guys are actually going with. FPL Review will say, go pick Cole Palmer this week. I like it, but I hate selling De Bruyne. There's just no easy other way for me to get to him. I am strongly considering this as an option, guys. Is there another world in which I take a -4 to bring someone like a Cole Palmer in? Maybe. Can I sell a Cunha down to an Evan Nilsson? Can I sell a Langer up to a Palmer, or a Make It Work? Maybe. Or a Cliver up? Maybe. Do I go Beto? There's options of bringing Palmer in, and I'm 50% likely to do it. If I do it, though, I think it'll be without the 4-point hit as mentioned, and it'll be this. It'll be simple. It'll just be De Bruyne out. Ooh, don't like it, and Palmer in. That's where I'm at. If I was to bring Cole Palmer in, I'd captain him. But captaincy is a big one this week, because I actually think the best captaincy option could be not the guys that we're looking to bring in, not a Watkins, not a Palmer. So this is where I'm at with captaincy, guys. And by the way, thank you for all your love this season. Despite having a terrible season, it means a lot to me that you still watch my videos. It means a lot to me that you're hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot to me that you comment and your kind words. So thank you, because it's very easy to have as a content creator, to have a bad season and just be like, I'm getting so much hate, I'm just going to switch off to this now. Like, forget making vids. I don't need to make a vid. Like, I'm not making any money from this video. Maybe a tiny bit. Enjoy your holiday in Italy. But no, I enjoy doing it, and I'm going to keep calm, carry on. Got to do it. If I didn't want to be here making vids, I just simply wouldn't do it. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm doing it because I like connecting with you guys. I like talking about this game even when I'm doing badly. And I still like playing the game when I'm doing badly. And I still want to play loose. I'm not going to be scared of managers atting me for my rank, but I'm going, I've got to go template because I've got to have a respectable finish. No, it doesn't matter to me if I finish 300k or 600k. It's still a rubbish season. I still haven't hit my target. Let's go to captaincy. I think Mbeumo might be the best option. And in fact, I'm very happy captaining Mbeumo. Honestly, I'd be going Palmer for it because he's differential. Not in a month of Sundays would I go Mo Salah. He's been in Dubai with the Liverpool team all week. But Brian Mbeumo, the narrative is there, right? They need a win, Brentford, and then European football looks likely. West London derby for them, yeah. bit of bite there between Fulham and Brentford. Fulham have nothing to play for on the beach, and Marco Silva could be off. They've just conceded 3 to Everton, and this could be Brian Mbeumo's last game at the G-Tech. Now, without that, all those points I've just mentioned, all those 5 points, right? They're not saying Mbeumo is 90-minute man on penalties, all the stuff you always hear, XG monster. Forget all that, because that is all good. But all those other things I've just mentioned, there is a narrative there that you can buy into. I love the fact it could be his last game at the G-Tech in a Brentford shirt. I love the fact that it's a derby and the fact Fulham are on the beach and Marco Silva could be leaving. Yeah? I love the fact that Brentford could get European football with a win. And Mbeumo's a great captaincy option this week, and I genuinely like it. Watkins, we know, is good for obvious reasons. Spurs are so bad defensively. And Palmer, if you're going there, it feels like if you're going there, you should probably go all in. Right? Don't rip your team up to get a Watkins or sell a good player like an Isak or a De Bruyne, bring in a Watkins or Palmer unless you are going to captain them. Otherwise, just don't bring them in. And that's why option 1 was an option for me, because it was like, I think Mbeumo is the best captaincy option, so why would I bother bringing Palmer or Watkins in? And that's what I need to get my head around, because my initial who to captain this game week was always going to be Mbeumo. And the fact he's only had 2 assists in the last 2 games is a good thing, because not everyone now is looking at him. So I think that's where I'm at, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think because of my rank, it's the most likely option is option 3. Let me know in the comments. That'd be bringing Palmer in to captain him. Option 2 was bring Watkins in to captain him, 30%. And option 1 was just captain Mbeumo and have 2 free transfers. It's tough. I think at my rank, I've just got to go for a Hail Mary, and Hail Mary is Cole Palmer. Guys, let me know in the comments what you would do. Thank you as always for watching. I'll be doing a deadline stream, hopefully on Friday. Catch you later. Bye-bye.